So, after today's debut of Loki, there has been a lot of talk and debate over who was that woman at the end of Loki episode 2. A lot of people are saying that it's Lady Loki, and a lot of other people are saying it's Enchantress. So in this video, I'll give you a quick understanding of both characters, and then break down all the hints that point towards either one, or either way, so you can form your own opinion, as well as I'll tell you who I think it is at the very end of the video. And also make sure to leave who you think it is at the end of the video in the comments. But first, hi, we're having a great day. You're watching JFG Entertainment. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because that's what you're supposed to do in the timeline. And if you don't, the TVA will come and get you. I'm just trying to help you, so just leave a like and subscribe so the TVA doesn't come for you. Also, leave your thoughts on episode 2 in the comments down below. Now, let's get started. So let's get started with who Lady Loki is. Bro, in the comics, she is literally Loki, who was reborn after Ragnarok. That already happened in the MCU, so they're not having that origin story, unless it's from a different timeline, but in the comics, Loki dies and he gets reborn in Lady Loki. Which, he gets reborn in the body of Lady Sif, Lady Sif has already been introduced in the MCU, the picture right here. And yeah, Lady Loki is basically Loki in Sif's body, which is pretty weird. I don't think the MCU would do that. But if that is Lady Loki at the end of Loki, then they're not doing that. But if it isn't, then they could still do that. But I thought that would be a fun fact to know. But out of her characteristic side, she's basically straight up Loki. She can be a villain, she can be a hero, she can be an anti-hero. She will act exactly like Loki, because it literally is Loki. Now, let's move on to who Enchantress is. Enchantress is an Asgardian. She has two different versions, but both of them use magic, which is green, and they also dress in green. Picture will be right here. One version of her is called Amora, and she's a villain to Thor and a lover to Loki. That's pretty much what you have to do. She's one of the biggest villains for Thor ever. Actually, I think she was the first villain I know from Thor. So she's pretty big. She's a lover to Loki. She helps him conquer the world, and she's pretty powerful too. Now let's move on to the other version. The other version is called Sylvie Lustan. I probably mispronounced that, but I'm not sure. But she basically had her powers from Loki because Loki wanted her to join him in his conquest. But this Enchantress was actually good and actually turned out to be part of the Young Avengers. So yeah, she didn't know Loki, she joined the Young Avengers, which clearly the MCU was setting up, so I would be surprised if it was that Enchantress, if that's what they're going for. But yeah, keep that in mind. Now you know these characters a little bit. You got like the very brief understanding of these characters. So now after that very quick recap, let's move on to all the hints that this show gives for either the woman at the end being Lady Loki or Enchantress. Also, I'll show a scoreboard every time somebody gets a point, so we can keep track of the score. So let's start with the first thing, or misdirect, which is the biggest one. I think it's the biggest thing, the biggest misdirect, if it is a misdirect. But that is that the TVA says that the woman that is murdering the Miniman is a variant of Loki, and we find out that at the end of the episode, it's a woman, which in the comics there is a lady version of Loki called Lady Loki. So clearly that's the first thing, that is Lady Loki. So point 1 goes to Lady Loki. So now let's move on with the next thing. So very early on in the episode, it's established what Loki's powers are. Right before he goes on a mission, they specifically talk about his powers, and his powers did not include enchanting. However, the lady at the end of episode 2, or just a murderer of the Minutemen, or the variant, that's what we call her, the variant, her powers include, as Loki called them himself, enchanting. So this makes me think that it's Enchantress, because with that choice of words and having a whole scene just dedicated to explain Loki's powers, when Loki has already been in the MCU a bunch of years since Thor, it just feels like they were clearly trying to set up something with that scene for later in the episode or for later in the show, and that briefing didn't include enchanting, and then that Loki himself said that her powers, that she was using enchanting powers. It just makes you believe that it could be Enchantress. So that's the hint for Enchantress. So now the scoreboard is 1-1. The next hint is also established very early on in the episode. Whenever they establish Loki likes to stop for time, whenever he's talking and basically just trying to see how far they can get to get that Nexus event to the red line, and he's just stalling by talking. So that's established very early on, and they keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. And then at the end of the episode, the variant of Loki, either Lady Loki or Enchantress, she does the exact same thing. She stalls for time. So that makes me kind of believe that it is Loki. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's like Loki literally just did that, and if this is Lady Loki, then it would make sense. So that hint goes for Lady Loki. So now it's 2-1. Now let's go to the next hint. The next hint is that whenever the lady enchants Hunter B15, which is like the girl that doesn't like Loki, whenever she enchants her, and then she says that here I was worried that they would find a better variant of me. That really makes it seem like she's Lady Loki, because she clearly hints that she is a variant of Loki. Whenever she says that they would find a better variant of me, so that point goes to Lady Loki, making the scoreboard 3-1 for Lady Loki and Enchantress. The next hint is that whenever the woman enchanted the big guy, the big strong guy that was beating up Loki, and then he throws Loki, and then Loki says, "I will never treat myself like this." It feels like it's like a little hint for the audience. It feels like Loki basically saying that isn't Loki. So that for me, that hint goes to Enchantress, making the scoreboard 3-2. My bad, I messed it up. Now, the next hint is the subtitles. For a language, I can't remember which language it is, but there is a language, and the subtitles there mark whenever the lady speaks, the woman speaks, it marks her as Enchantress and not Lady Loki. So in the English subtitles, it says variant, but in the different subtitles, I can't remember what language it was. I think it was French, but I can't remember. It says Enchantress. So it kind of goes. It's kind of pretty big. Also in the end credits, it also says Enchantress. So I don't know if they messed it up, if it's on purpose just to cause controversy or whatever, but that point very clearly goes to Enchantress, causing the scoreboard to go 3-3. The last thing that I'm going to mention here is that the hair color of the girl is blonde, while Lady Loki in the comics, or just Loki in the MCU, their hair is black. So and Enchantress' hair is blonde. So that kind of gives the point to Enchantress, kind of saying, okay, yeah, probably that is Enchantress. Making the scoreboard 3 for Lady Loki and 4 for Enchantress. Clearly showing that Enchantress is more likely to be Enchantress according to these hints. Now, some other things I would like to point out that aren't really for any side specifically, but they could go for either side, is that the magic color is green, which Enchantress has green magic in the comics. It kind of looks like Enchantress magic. And we really haven't seen Loki's MCU magic, but in the comics, Loki also has green magic. So it could be Lady Loki, it could mean Enchantress, it could honestly go for either one, but I kind of just wanted to point this out since the MCU Loki has never used green magic, except whenever he shapeshifts, but he's never actually holding green magic. So I don't know if that's a hint for it to be Enchantress, but I just wanted to point it out. Another thing is the suit. It looks like Loki, like Loki in MCU, but it doesn't look like the Lady Loki from the comics. Like, she doesn't have the fur coat and the big horns. Instead, she has really small horns, like Enchantress is in the comics. So it could be for Enchantress. It could be for Loki, Lady Loki. I don't know, because like I said, the suit looks a lot like MCU Loki, but nothing like comic book Lady Loki. And the suit looks a lot more like Enchantress suit from the comics than it looks like for Lady Loki. So it's like 50-50. So who do I think it is? Well, I think it's a mix of both. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it is Lady Loki, but she goes by Enchantress. So I don't think she's a variant from Loki, called Lady Loki, but instead she goes by Enchantress. And I think she will be more of an Enchantress type of character. The thing that kind of throws me off is the blonde hair. I don't really know what's the deal with the blonde hair. So that kind of makes me think, like, I don't know. This is just my theory. Like, she isn't Lady Loki, but she's more like Enchantress. She's going to have her powers. And who knows, maybe if it is Enchantress, she can join the Young Avengers, which we're already seeing happening in the MCU with Kate Bishop and Billy and Tommy, the sons of Wanda and Vision. And I'm forgetting his name. The nephew of Isaiah Bradley, I forgot his name. And so on and so on. So clearly they're already building up to the Young Avengers, and Enchantress was in the Young Avengers, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did end up putting this version in the Young Avengers, or maybe a different version. Who knows? But that kind of makes me think a little bit it's more towards Enchantress, but like I said, I think it's a mix of both. So yeah, that's my theory. Well, that will be it for this video. I hope you found it interesting and informative and enjoyable. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, or else, like I said earlier, the TVA will come and get you. I'm just trying to save your life, so just please like and subscribe. I don't want you to die or get erased from existence, so leave a like and subscribe. Also, leave in the comments who do you think it is, Enchantress or Lady Loki, or like me, a mix of both. Feel free to check out more content like my video Why is Peggy in Loki? Link will be in this corner or in this corner. I think it's this corner. And also feel free to check out my other video, Will Loki be in Thor Love and Thunder or in Doctor Strange Super Madness? Link will also be in the corner. I hope I'm getting the right one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is Jet Entertainment. Out.